G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So the regular season is over for 2024 and I'm here to give you my NRL Finals Week 1 predictions. Very excited to jump in and do this one for you. Now later on in the week I will have my full NRL Finals predictions. It'll probably drop Tuesday or Wednesday, but this is just Finals Week 1 predictions. So I'll give you my tip and the margin for each of these games. All right, so to start us off, we've got Friday night football between where have I got my notes? Penrith Panthers against the Sydney Roosters at Bluebet Stadium. Now, there's been 106 games played between these two sides. Panthers have won 45, Roosters have won 60. The Roosters have a pretty good record at Bluebet Stadium, so this definitely could be a game that they get up for. Panthers have won 5 in a row against the Roosters though. So recently, it's been all Penrith Panthers. Now, in terms of injuries and stuff like that, I think Panthers will go into this relatively full strength. They should welcome back Nathan Cleary in this one. I think the Roosters, they're obviously missing Brandon Smith, Sam Walker, and I do believe Victor Radley's out for a while as well. I think JWH is... I don't know if he's playing this week or if he's back next week, but they've got a lot of injuries. So they're a lot of key injuries, I should say. So I think it'll be a tough one for them here. Heading into this first final, the Roosters actually have a better. They're going into it with better form. They've won 4 out of their last 5 games. The Panthers have won 3 out of their last 5 with I would say a pretty disappointing game against the Titans. Now, the Titans did come to play in that one, but, definitely not the ruthless Panthers we normally see. Look, as I said, the Roosters do tend to have a pretty good record against the Panthers. However, the Panthers have had the wood over them over the last few games. With Cleary returning, I do think that the Panthers will be up for this game. However, if he doesn't return, I think this one will be, it definitely could go either way there. But with Cleary there, just obviously, Luke Keary is an experienced half, but he's getting on in age. I think Nathan Cleary is by far and away the best half in the NRL. And the Roosters, I think they would have had a lot better chance to take on the Panthers if Sam Walker was there. So unfortunately, I do see the Panthers winning this one by about 16 points. I'm going to back them in here. Panthers by 16. But this Roosters side, it just wouldn't surprise me if they did cause an upset. But yeah, Panthers by 16 is what I'm locking in for the first game. All right, the second game is between the minor premiers, the Melbourne Storm, against the Cronulla Sharks. There's been 46 games played between these two sides. Storm have won 29, Sharkies have won 17. Storm have been quite good, have quite a good record against Cronulla at Amy Stadium, or Amy Park, I should say. Storm have won 3 of their last 5 games against Cronulla. Sharks did beat them earlier on this year, 25-18 at Amy Park. Both sides should go into this one relatively full strength. Obviously, Storm rested their players a couple of weeks ago, but Pappy did come out with an injury. He should be good for this game, I believe. If not, they've got coverage in Suafea Longo and several other players, Tyron Wishart. The depth in that side is incredible. So even if they did go into this side with a few players out, I'd still be pretty confident that they would be able to compete with most teams here. In the last 5 games, both sides have actually won 4 of their last 5. So both sides on form are going into this finals period looking pretty good, to be honest. Look, not too much more to talk about in this game. I just think Storm have too much firepower. I know, Nico and Trindle, they've been really clicking, especially this week. They were a bit disappointing against the Warriors. But, moving Nico back into that number 7 jersey. I thought Trindle was actually really good in the win over Manly, but Yeah, all in all, I think Storm will be too good. Even if Pappy's not playing, I think they've got the players to cover him. They're pretty much full strength now, though. So I'm backing Storm in. I think Storm get the job done by 10 points in this one. All right, next up, we've got the North Queensland Cowboys against the Newcastle Knights. This is 5th versus 8th. It is the late game on Saturday. Now, between these two teams, there's been 45 games played. Cowboys 23, Knights 22. So, not much in it when these two play. The Cowboys have won their last 5 games against Newcastle in North Queensland. Look, both sides should realistically come into this game full strength. I don't think there's too many big injuries. I know Kai Pearce-Paul is probably out. I don't know when he is due back. But for the Cowboys, I don't believe there's too many crazy injuries for them. Maybe some depth plays and stuff like that. But all in all, this should be pretty full strength on both ends here. Cowboys have won 4 of their last 5 games heading into finals. The Knights have also won 4 of their last 5 games. The Cowboys were pretty disappointing in the win over Storm, but then they bounced back in a big way against the Doggies this week. They looked incredible. Newcastle, they were good against the Dolphins, but they weren't great. I thought defensively they were really good. And heading to North Queensland, they're going to have to be good defensively. I think this game definitely could go either way, though. I think we could see the Knights fall apart and the Cowboys absolutely run over them. But I don't see that happening. I think this is going to be a relatively close game. And I do have the Cowboys coming out of this one, winning by 8. If it was in Newcastle, backing the Knights in all the way. But I think up in North Queensland, the Cowboys should have enough to get it done there in front of their home supporters. All right, the final game, the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs against the Manly Sea Eagles. So this is 6th versus 7th. There's been 152 games played in both these teams' careers. 81 go to Manly, 66 go to the Bulldogs. So there has been a few draws in that one as well. Bulldogs have been incredible at home outside of the last 2 weeks this season. However, Manly tend to play quite well at a core. So, Manly, I think, will probably be up to this one. For the most part of this year, the Bulldogs have been one of the best defensive teams all season, despite going down in pretty poor fashion to Manly last week, and then the Cowboys the weekend just gone. Injuries, the Bulldogs have no Kurt Mann, which is a massive loss for them. You can just see that really hurt them. Matty Burton will return this week, though, as will players like Josh Addo-Carr. Bronson Cherry should also come back. I believe he was suspended. Don't quote me on that, though. And then they had another bloke out. Wilson is out for the season, but they've got Gerald Skelton that can fill a hole there too. So I think the Bulldogs should be back to pretty close to full strength outside of Wilson and Kurt Mann. Manly should welcome back Tom Trbojevic as well. So, I think this will be a cracking game. I think it'll be probably one of the better games of the weekend. I think this will be the closest game of the weekend. Both sides are heading into this game with a 3-5 record. The Bulldogs, obviously, their 2 losses came in the last 2 weeks, which a lot of people would say isn't great, but I don't know. I feel like that might rejuvenate them a bit and give them a bit of a kick up the backside, because I do think that this team deserves to be there. They've been one of the best defensive teams in the entire NRL for this season. They've got to stop Turbo. If they don't stop Turbo, I think Manly could put a bit of a cricket score on them like we saw a couple of weeks ago. Their forwards are going to need to aim up, because the Manly forwards are going to be relentless through the middle. But I do think that this team, they've got the defense to do it. I think Critter and Ciraldo, they're going to get them up for this one. I'm backing the Bulldogs in a very close game. I'm backing them by 2 points. All right, guys, that is my tips for finals week 1. Let me know yours down below in the comments. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Make sure you hit that like button and hit that sub button. I'm trying to get 8K by the end of the year. Let's bloody go.